tour, everything that you went through at YG and this whole crazy journey that you've just described?
Not really.
Dog! She's fishing. She's throwing the reels and she's trying to fish for something and she's catching nothing. Ugh. This one's tough, bro. This is tough. She's so deep, bro. What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your man's Jassy, and I'm not really looking forward to this one. Like, y'all telling me that it's very emotional. Y'all done seen me cry a lot already, and it's just like, I'm not really ready for it. I'm not ready, guys, but you know what? We gotta get it done. We really do. I'm just a little nervous for this one. Happy Tuesday, by the way. It's not on my plan to upload Tuesday and Thursday, but I don't know. Something about me just can't commit to only doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like, I feel like that's too little for you guys, and it's too little for me. Like, I could keep going, you know what I'm saying? And before we get started with this, I wanted to show you guys the Patreon because it's officially up and I've made some edits to it. I still gotta make a few minor tweaks here and there, but you go to the Patreon and this is what you'll see for sure. Right here, we got this. This is a little thing that I had made through artificial intelligence. So I made it by no means. Like, to me, it doesn't depict them correctly, even though, like, you can tell, you know, Jisoo, Lisa, Jenny, Rosé. But, like, I don't know. I feel like it could have been better. You know what I'm saying? But just welcome to my Patreon. And you got me in the middle. I didn't want myself to look bigger, but that's what artificial intelligence did. I could have kept trying with it, but I know if I did, it would just give me things that weren't inaccurate. Getting this right here, this was like 12 tries on prompting it to make it. You know, on every other try, they were giving me like 7 individuals. They were just doing, it was just so much. And finally, I got one where it was just 4, and I was like, oh my gosh, this could work. So that's why I have that. But yes, this is my page right here. I have one post, which is my welcome to my Patreon post, saying what to look forward to when you join the Patreon. So I didn't know that there was a free account. I don't know what that has access to. So if you guys can let me know what the free one entails, please let me know in the comments, because I have no idea. I can't check it through my side. So yeah, you can also see that we have the memberships. And again, I said this in my previous videos, what the memberships mean. It's $2.99 a month. This is just the beginning. And this is just everything, like I said, uncut reactions. And that's the main gist of it. Also early access to YouTube reactions, because since this is going uncut on Patreon, I do a lot less editing. So I don't need to make edits the way I do on YouTube. And then Patron only polls. Someone told me it's pronounced like patron, but I like saying Patron. So we're gonna go with Patron. Yeah, you if you upgrade to the Edotopian one, it's $8.99 a month, and we definitely get some one-on-one video chats on Discord. We're gonna get some personalized reaction requests, and we're gonna do monthly Q&A live streams. If you are an Edotopian or join This Is Just the Begin on Patreon, make sure to message me on Discord. That way I can add you accordingly to the proper chats. You guys can expect the first Patreon video to come out. We'll do Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'll blow you guys up on Thanksgiving, because on Thursday, we got another live stream Thursday. We got my #1 girl cover Thursday. And then I'll also do my first Patreon upload to go with the video that goes with the Patreon. So for you guys that only see my YouTube stuff, you will notice my videos will be a lot different. There will be more cuts. There will be more editing because of the fact that we have the full version up on Patreon. So yeah, this is it, guys. I hope you guys join. I promise you, it's gonna be a fun time here on Patreon. It's gonna be a fun time too on YouTube. It's gonna be a fun time everywhere we are. All right, y'all. I'm so nervous for this one. Y'all have no idea. I really am. This is, and if you guys do want to see it, it's right here. For the purpose of listening to this, I'm just gonna take it out, and I will cut out like the ums and the pauses between words, you know, the way I do right now with myself. So I will be doing that for this as well. Without further ado, LGI baby, let's get it.
From the New York Times, this is The Interview. I'm Lulu Garcia Navarro. I'd like to invite you into my refuge when it all gets to be too much. It's a world of bright color, incredible fashion, perfectly choreographed dance moves, and ebullient earworms that bop. Yep, I'm talking about K-pop. If you know, you know. But for those who don't, South Korean pop, known as K-pop, is a highly stylized art form that has a massive global fan base, giving outsized cultural influence to the small country where it's made. The genre's stars, known as idols, are trained, often for years, by entertainment companies. Companies then place the most promising trainees in groups, write and produce their music, some would say obsessively manage their public image. It's a structure that works for the idols who make it big, but it also draws criticism.
Hold up. I have a huge feeling that I know no spoilers of this interview, by the way, besides you guys say it's emotional. Just the way she, and I'm not saying the interviewer is a bad person, but I just have a strong feeling that she's gonna try to dig for something. I feel like she's gonna try to get something out of Rosé. And that makes me more nervous. I know Rosé will handle it, but some people try to get you to slip up when they're doing interviews.
For its grueling and what some critics call exploitative methods. One of the biggest stars to come out of that system is Rosé. Born Roseanne Park, she trained for years at one of K-pop's largest agencies, YG Entertainment, eventually breaking through as part of the girl group BLACKPINK. Now she's striking out on her own with her first full-length solo album called Rosie. The lead single, I PEEPED, is a collaboration with Bruno Mars and has made history as the first track by a female K-pop artist to break into the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Oh, good for you.
So Rosé's star
Rosie.
keeps rising.
Roses are rosy.
Still, as she told me, writing her own songs has made her think about where she came from and who she is, apart from the system that made her into a global phenomenon. Here's my conversation with Rosé. Hi, how are you?
Nice to meet you. I'm Rosie.
Hi, Rosie. Is that how you prefer to be addressed, or Rosé? What would you like?
You can call me Rosé. Actually, it's just become a habit lately. I usually always introduce myself as Rosé, but like you can call me Rosé, Rosie, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Is there a difference between the two when you
Want to know a fun fact, guys? When I do anything on my channel, it's always through my computer. Very rarely do I use my phone, YouTube on my phone. A lot of times when I talk about Rosé, like in polls, titles, descriptions, or any of that, and I spell her name, I don't know how to pull up accented letters. Sometimes if I'm too lazy to look for a past time where I spelled Rosé with the accented E, I just say Rosie. So if you ever seen any of my comments or seen anything where I say Rosie instead of Rosé, just know it's because I'm too lazy to find one of the past times I spelled Rosé with the accented letters. I don't know. I don't want to disrespect her by spelling Rose.
you think of yourself as Rosé and when you think of yourself as Rosie?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yes, I think there's a bit of a difference. It's more like if Rosé was Rosé was a character that I really worked hard on as a trainee, and it's a part of BLACKPINK, and I feel like Rosie is whatever is behind that and what came before that. I would say Rosie is definitely the character that my friends and family know. Rosé, is more like, I have music on and when I like to be a diva and like dance, But then Rosie would just be like me at home, drowning in my bed.
Sorry, I had to pause it. You guys know I am Alcedo. I think I said this in a past video before, but a little fun fact about me. The difference between Rosé and Rosie is literally the difference between Alcedo and Jeremy Alcedo. Jeremy is my real name. I'm Filipino, so we actually got two first names. My legal first name is actually Jeremy Michael, but ain't nobody gonna call me Jeremy Michael. That's way too long. So growing up, my whole family and a lot of my friends, they call me Jeremy. Jeremy's my real name, and that's the first time I ever told you guys that. And Edo comes from my last name. My last name is Alcedo. I just took EDO and made it Edo. Jazz comes from I kind of want to get into the interview. I don't think I need to tell you guys where Jazz comes from. If you guys want to know where Jazz comes from, let me know on the comments and I'll address it in the next video. Yeah, my real name isn't Jazz Edo. My real name is Jeremy Alcedo. And that's the difference between Jazz Edo and Jeremy Alcedo, is that Jazz Edo, I'm coming at you, man. What is happening? You know what I'm saying? I'm here doing this. I do my music. I do my other content on Instagram, and everybody that knows Jazz, they know like, oh man, it's Jazz, like I know he's bringing the energy with him, positivity all the time. And Jeremy's always also positive too, but Jazz is the one that wants to get out there. Jazz is like, I guess, the extroverted version of me, which is kind of me all the time. I'm always an extrovert, but Jazz is like the one that's like really trying to get out there, you feel me? Whereas Jeremy is like, I just want to stay at home, I just want to relax. Jeremy doesn't really touch the the cellular device. Jeremy never touches the phone. Jazz has to be on the phone all the time. Jeremy never touches the phone. Little differences like that. But I get it, Rosie. I get it.
This is a huge moment for you. You're about to release your first solo album. Can you tell me, what are you feeling?
I feel like I've been waiting to release this album for my whole life, I would say.
Wow.
Just growing up, I grew up listening to a lot of female artists. I used to relate to them a lot and used to really get me through a lot of tough times. And so I would always dream of one day having an album myself. But like I never really thought it would be realistic, because once I started like being in the industry, I started noticing there's way more that goes into it than I expected. And I remember last year when I first begun the whole, the process of it, I doubted myself a lot. And so I feel like it feels like a dream that I'm about to release this album. But I kind of lived in this album for the past year, like every single day. And so I'm ready to be like, okay, get it out now. Time for me to move on as well.
I'll never get over Rosé's laugh. I love her laugh so much. I feel like right now she's Rosie.
From that chapter of my life.
You just talked about not having confidence in yourself to do this, which I think probably would be incredibly surprising to anyone who would look at Rosé with all your success, with the enormous fan base that you have, to know that you doubted yourself so much.
I was more afraid of, because I don't think I ever learned or trained myself to be vulnerable and open and honest. So that was the part I think I feared, because it was the opposite of what I was trained to do.
That's where Inside Out comes into play with her ID interview. And she said how Inside Out helped her, really understand her emotions a lot better. Man, I'm so proud of her. But it's really good to hear Rosie get vulnerable over here. I'm talking way too much, guys. I'm so sorry.
And I really hope that this album would be exactly that, to be vulnerable and very honest and something that just anyone could relate to. And so that was the part I think I feared.
I think that's the perfect opening to talk about how you got to where you are today. You were born in New Zealand to South Korean immigrant parents, and then you moved to Australia when you were 8. When did you start playing music?
When I was growing up in Australia, there's really not much to do there. It's not like Seoul City or New York. It's like it was just school and back home, school and then back home. And so I'd be really bored.
Damn, it just hit me growing up in Australia. She really about that island life. She really is. It won't surprise me if she listens to reggae.
And my parents had like made me take like piano lessons, and so I knew how to play a few chords, and so I'd like end up just printing chords on paper, and then I'd like sing along to it, because it was like form of entertainment basically. And then I picked up the guitar because that's when YouTube started blowing up, and all these like people would like cover songs. And
she has to be talking about Tori Kelly right now. If she's not referring to Tori Kelly right now, like in her head, then I don't know what to think. She's talking about YouTube, people picking up the guitar, covering songs. Sounds like Tori Kelly to me.
And I'd think, oh, that's so cool. Like, I want to be that girl who knows how to play the guitar and sings. And so I like picked up the guitar and I practiced that at home. Yeah, it was really organic. It was a form of entertainment for me.
So in 2012, when you were 15, you auditioned for a slot in YG Entertainment's trainee program,
Wow,
which is basically
that's when I graduated high school, y'all.
a sort of a boarding school, if you will, for becoming a K-pop star. It was your dad's idea, right?
Yes.
What was it that made your dad want you to audition? And did you sort of understand what you were getting into?
Yes. So like that's when like I was watching YouTube a lot, and if you would search K-pop, there'd be like this whole world in Korea where like, there are trainees and they all train and become K-pop stars. And so that was kind of like, there was this fantasy about it, obviously. And I think I would sometimes dream it and I'd be like, imagine myself actually doing that, and I'd be like, oh, that's ridiculous, it never happened, but like that would be so cool. But it wasn't much of a possibility in my head until my dad saw that YG was flying to Australia, and back then it was very rare that Korean companies would come to all the way to Australia. My dad was like, Rosie, like you sing every night till like past midnight and we have to like drag you back into the room. You obviously like to do this. You should take the audition. And I was like, me? I really thought he was joking. I'm like, I don't even know how to sing properly. And he was like,
what the hell, dude? No, that's crazy. So that phase of her life that she said she was going through, where it was like, it's just a dream, oh, like that's so, it's kind of like far-fetched. She didn't use the exact wording, but you guys know what I mean. That's where I'm at now. I imagine the places I want to be, especially in music. You know, I imagine the places I want to be even in YouTube, when I give you guys the content where I give back to people, you know, where it's like acts of kindness type content. That's where I'm at now. Like I'm thinking like, oh, these things I imagine, it's never gonna happen. You never know what's gonna happen. You really never know. You know, just don't give up on your dreams ever. I certainly am not. Yeah, and then the last thing that made me freak out and initiated this pause section was that I don't know how to sing properly. I've sang all my life, just like how she said. She sang all the time. And for me, it was just like the same thing. My family would always tell me like, be quiet. I'm always singing, you know? I never had lessons. I never had coaching. I've never had anything. I never had anyone teach me how to sing. I grew up singing because I'm Filipino. You know what I mean? Like, we in that karaoke every family party. My family asked me to perform at this event, that event. You know, I've done banquets, I've done debuts. So for Filipinos, we celebrate 18 years old for the female. So when the female turns 18 years old, she has this big celebration. It's like a quinceañera, but instead of 15, it's 18. You know, I performed at debuts. I'm about to perform at a wedding. But if you were to ask me, get in the studio and talk to me about like vocal ranges or certain keys or notes, I'm not gonna know. I've never learned like that. I've never had a teacher. I've never had coaching. I've never had anyone teach me about that. So, and that even goes with my voice as a singer. I used to not sing properly. I barely just learned how to sing properly 2 years ago. Before 2 years ago, I would sing so improperly through all of this, and it would never sound right. But I learned to sing like through here, you know what I'm saying? And because of that, I'm a better singer. I could be better, and I'm working on it, but that's crazy. It's just these connections with Rosé is crazy, man.
Like, well, you just gotta do it, and if it doesn't work out, then it was a fun experience, but you don't want to be like 26 and regret that you never tried it. And I was like, oh, okay. So we flew to Sydney and I took the audition, and I was already like, everyone's so good. And I remember being like, okay, that was fun, bye. But to my surprise, they called us back. And then they asked us to pack up our bags and come to Korea in 2 months. And so that's what happened.
I mean, you know, becoming a trainee is full-time. It's based in Seoul. You had to pack up your life and leave in 2 months. It isn't something, it seems, that you enter lightly. I mean, what were the conversations like in your family when you were deciding whether to stay or go?
My mom was very against it at the beginning because obviously she worries about a lot of things, which she should. And it was like nothing was promised, really. My dad won, and I think I was too young to really think about everything. I was more excited. I didn't even think I knew that I was going to be living in a dorm with the girls. Like, I didn't understand the fact that I'd be apart from my family. I just thought I'd be going and, ooh, I'm in dorm, yay. And then I remember when I got there, my parents like, okay, we're going now, we're leaving. And I was like, where are you going?
Dude, why does this remind me of when I joined the military? Like, for real.
And they're like, we have to go now, we have to fly back. I remember freaking out, and that's when it hit me. Like, this is very real.
I mean, that's crazy, though, to just sort of arrive there and not realize that that's where you were going to be living and staying there.
Yeah.
Did you know much about the Korean idol culture at that point?
I'm sorry. That was so me. When I got my first duty station in the military, when I was in basic training, I had moments, obviously, I'm really in this. I'm really doing this. But basic training is only 2 months. So I knew like when the 2 months was over, after basic training, I was at another school where they trained us on learning our job that we would perform in the military. And I knew for me that time was going to be over. And then the first day I got into my dorm and I was just looking around my dorm room. This is probably the size of my actual room right now. I was like, damn, this is real. Like, I'm actually out here. And I was in Kansas, by the way, Wichita, Kansas. I was there for 4 years before I moved to Japan for 3 years. But I was in Kansas for 4 years, and I didn't know it was going to be 4 years. I just knew at that moment when the first night in my dorm room, I was like, wow, this is my life. Like, I'm here in this dorm room, my desk, my bed, and that's it. This is crazy. This is going to be my life for however long it's going to be, you know?
A point?
I did, because that's again when YouTube started blowing up, and they were releasing a lot of content in Korea about the trainee life, and it was a bit glamorized, for sure. It looked really like everyone was chasing their dreams and working so hard, but I think I didn't understand the lonely part, like the loneliness that I would have to go through. That was a bit traumatizing. I mean, a bit shocking, but you know, I survived it.
I think a lot of people outside of Korea don't quite understand how intense the process is to become an idol. What was a typical day like for you?
So for us, the schedule was like we would wake up I had to wake up at like 9:30. I remember because I needed to take a shower and then we'd be at our dance hall that we all shared between us 7 to 8 girls, and we'd have like vocal lessons and dance lessons and language lessons all set up, and then practice would end at 2 a.m. For me, like I used to want the hall to myself, so there are many days when you just stay back and use the hall after hours. And then it would repeat like that every single day.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That was me when I was deployed, bro. I kid you not. When I was deployed, there was this room. There was like a little community center. We had a piano, a drum set, electric guitar, like a couple acoustic guitars. And it was just like a place where if you're musically inclined, you could just go there and get away. During the times, like when, you're deployed. When you're deployed in the Middle East, the only thing you really do is work out, eat, sleep. But I had a lot of time. I would go there and I realized like after the first week of me going there, it was always busy during times I went. So I shifted my whole sleep schedule around and stayed back just so I can be in that room by myself when no one else is there. That is so crazy, dog.
We're clearly very driven to want to make this work.
I think a big part of that was because I had traveled so far for it. For me, it's if I failed here, then I would have to fly all the way back to Australia. And all my friends who asked me, where are you going? I don't understand what you're doing. I didn't want to have to explain to them this whole process of me, failing and flying back. And so I could not let that.
Makes me think of the carpool karaoke where she said that her friends asked where you going, and she just said like, you'll see when I make it.
That happened, and it drove me to be more determined.
I mean, it says something about you that you had so much discipline and so much drive that you wanted to sort of get to a place.
I think I learned that about myself when I got to YG. It wasn't something that I had before and that got me there. It was more like I got there and then I was put in that situation, and that's when I learned so much about myself. And I'm very very like determined, and that's when I learned. I was like, oh, this is the type of person I am.
I read you'd get only one day off every 2 weeks.
Yes.
What did you do on your day off?
Lisa is from Thailand as well. So Lisa and I didn't have friends or family there. So we would...
Another member of BLACKPINK?
Yes, another member of BLACKPINK. We were in the same room. And so we'd wake up and I'd be like, I'm going to church. And so I'd meet her after church. And then we'd go shopping and go to our favorite stores. Remember this place called Myeongdong back then. We don't go there anymore. But we would go to Myeongdong and like go shopping. And then I remember we'd always pass like... Jordans was like a big thing. The sneakers. Nike Jordan.
Oh, okay.
I remember, and like it was like such a big hype back then, but it was so expensive. So we'd always go to the store and like look at all the shoes and be like, oh, it's so pretty. Like this is so expensive. I really want these, and we wouldn't be able to buy it. So we'd be like, maybe next time. and we'd actually go shopping for the things that we had to wear for training. For training, we'd have to do these like weekly and like monthly tests, and so for that we need to look good, and so we'd have to style ourselves. But like we didn't know much about clothes, and with the money that my parents would send us, we'd like go out and like try to look good. And so it was like a constant battle of proving to the company that this is who we are, this is the artist that I can be, this is the artist I am. And to be an artist is like fashion is a big part of it, and how we present ourselves.
Woo! Hearing this, it's so amazing to see where they are now. How far all four of them has come. I don't know. Like, one, they can buy as much Jordans as they want to now. Two, buying clothes and shopping. Like, screw all that. A lot of them are ambassadors for these brands, and a lot of them are such big deals to sponsors, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a big deal. And this is kind of like a callback to my reaction to a guide to BLACKPINK. Like, I'm also like proving to y'all that just because I skipped over it doesn't mean I'd skip over the information. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's so good for her though. That's so good for all of them, man. They really come so far, and it's much well deserved,
As an artist, and so like we worked really hard on that.
The idea here is that they're training you to be this huge star. So in addition to singing and dancing, did you get instruction on like the public facing aspects of the job? Did they try to prepare you for what fame might be like?
PR?
No, not necessarily.
Wow.
I personally think that, especially us four, like BLACKPINK, we're all smart enough to navigate our way through, and we're all very responsible. And so I'm guessing that's why, we got selected. I don't know. I just believe that. But yeah, it's not like they like told us anything specific, like this is what you're going to be going through mentally, etc. It was like, yeah, it was more organic than that. I think if that was all taught as well, it seems a bit weird. It seems very like very planned.
That makes sense. Like you gotta know how to think on your feet. And some people have a hard time just thinking on their feet. Some people answer questions very poorly or very correctly. You know, it's something I feel like you can't teach that. You can to a certain extent, but to be a really good like strategist and how you do like interviews and handle public, like you just gotta have it. You know what I'm saying? You can't. There are certain things you can't teach with that.
But we were there for music, and so we just worked on music.
You were at the academy for 4 years. Some of the people who train there trained for 6 or 7 years. Does it seem like a good system?
Well, me personally, I still talk about it sometimes, and I say, I'm like talking to my producer, and I say, I really miss the days where I was given all the time in the world to work on my music. And I said, at the time, it was like endless hours, and sometimes I was hopeful, sometimes it felt hopeless. I think deep down inside, I really enjoyed it. Being able to live in that with all the time, like I think that was like a really special moment that I'm never probably going to be able to get back, to just solely do that. And I say, I'm like, when I look at trainees and the girls that like, they're like coming up, I really think, I'm like, I envy that kind of, because even though it was mentally challenging, I think the trainee days of me pushing through all those hardships has, helped me, do these things for myself even to this day.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a lot to navigate. What was it like when all of a sudden BLACKPINK comes out? It just becomes an immediate success. What was the transition like from being a trainee with all the time in the world to do your music to suddenly becoming an actual pop star?
I think that might have been maybe the hardest part for me, because I think being a trainee, yes, settling into like this whole new world with people you don't know, that is challenging, but it was still off camera and I got to make mistakes. But I feel like the transition of now having to be on camera and being an artist and presenting to the world who I am, that's something we just had to learn as we went. So I think the first few years was very difficult for me personally. A few years in, I started picking it up and learning. Yeah.
What was hard about it?
I think it's still hard, actually, and it kind of never stopped since then.
I mean, what I'm hearing is that you had to find out who you were in the glare of this very big spotlight. One of the things that is unique about K-pop is that the fan culture is so specific and so enormous. Can you tell me a little bit about that relationship? I mean, how authentic did you feel like you could be?
Mm-hmm.
How authentic did you want to be?
So if I ever look this way, just know, like my screen is right here, but like in the you see it, right? She's in that right corner. So if I ever look literally this way, I'm looking at the interviewer. Like this is me being me. And I say this because she's digging there. She's digging there. I hear it. Like even the way she responds to Rosie's answers, she's in the same tone of like, well, I mean, she's digging for something. She's waiting for some kind of slip up, bro.
I mean, I felt like we were trained to always present ourselves in the most perfect way. And so even when we were interacting with them online, it was when I was ready to give perfect answers and give them what they wanted, and making sure that I'm a perfect girl for everyone.
Oh my gosh, dude. Whoa. Rosie's voice right now has transitioned very drastically. It's very emotional right now. This is getting deep. We're almost at the deep end over here, guys.
And so I think that was the culture, and then that's why leading into this album, it was a little bit of this more personal want and need to be able to write an album that I grew up, like I had listened to music I felt like I could relate to. But in order for that, I'm sure like artists had to be vulnerable, but we hadn't trained to talk about our emotions and feelings and experiences.
So it must have been scary.
Yeah.
To do this, because this is a very personal album. Let's talk about Rosie. When you had to sit down with yourself and write this album, what was that like to have to dig deep?
To be honest, doing it was like breathing. All the stories in there are stories that, anyone around me has heard more than 20 times.
Wow.
It was about time I wrote it in a song. It was like, I had moments where I was like, oh, wait, can we say this? Wait, maybe we shouldn't put that word in there. Maybe this is too much. Should we not? And then I think it was like the process of me letting that go.
What's the fear though when you're saying I don't want to put that in there?
Like, I guess at first, like, I mean, I'm talking about very normal experiences that a normal girl in their 20s is going through. And so, like I said, there's a whole world and a whole life behind, screen where I experience things that my fans hasn't really heard about or seen and talked about. And so, like, sometimes it does scare me. It's like, can I show this side of me? And am I allowed to talk about this? Yeah. It's not even like crazy things, to be honest. It's very normal things. So it sounds like I'm gonna be talking about some crazy experiences. It's not really that crazy. It's just very normal things.
I believe her. I believe that it's normal things. Like what she said, it's 20-year-old things. It's 20-year-old woman things, If we all go through it in our 20s. Like me, I just turned 30, and I will say my 20s was quite the ride. You feel me? Dude, this interviewer, man, I don't know. I'm like a little over halfway into this, and I don't know. I just really sense that like she's trying to even just the title, K-pop trained Rosé to be a perfect girl, and now she's trying to be herself. I feel like she's trying to make YG look bad or something. And I don't know the context the way you guys do. I don't know if you guys look at YG in a bad way or if you guys look at YG as a great company. I assume it could be either push and pull. Me as a WWE fan, it's kind of like Vince, right? A lot of times it's like a big there are a lot of WWE fans who hate Vince McMahon. There's a lot of WWE fans who love Vince McMahon. Or NBA. That's another one. A lot of NBA fans don't like Adam Silver, but a lot of NBA fans love Adam Silver. I'm like kind of indifferent with Adam Silver, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like she's trying to, the interviewer, I think she's just me. That's just me. It's just my thoughts.
No, the themes are heartache, lost love, anger sometimes at people. I mean, the range of human emotions.
Yeah, romance. But even that is like, it's scary for me. So that was, yeah, it was like, I could see like the faces in the producers and songwriters. They were like, so interesting, Rosie. Why are you so nervous about this? And I'm like, you guys, you don't know.
Well, I mean, I've seen reporting that K-pop agencies have strict rules when it comes to dating. And in part, maybe because they want fans to feel like idols are in a relationship with them. Is that part of the fear that it's not normal for...
Wow, my friend told me about this. Briss Bleo, he told me about that. He told me that like sometimes like K-pop fans, when K-pop like stars, when they're dating someone, people will make billboards or do something saying like, I don't like that you're dating this person or something like that. Yeah, he told me something along those lines.
Stars to necessarily share that.
Well, yeah, it was not normal. It isn't normal, but also it's just not normal for me too. Like, I never really spoken about it because I feel like there's no need for me to ever confirm anything or talk about it. But I think that's why like this album means a lot to me, because it's just like these things are just inspirations for my art. So I do want to make sure that that's like very well addressed.
Yes.
The fact that it's not about the story of who Rosie has been with or whatever. It's really more about the art, and it's scary. It's kind of unfair that I have to think about that part of it, because really, again, it's just an element of inspiration.
I can hear you drawing a boundary, that your personal life is your personal life, which I totally respect. I was really struck by one particular song off the album, which is called Number One Girl.
Oh, yes.
When I listened, it felt like it could be about a romantic relationship or about a relationship with fame and celebrity. One of the lyrics goes, "Tell me I'm that new thing. Tell me that I'm relevant." Can you talk to me a little bit about that song?
Did you hear that? When after she said the line, Rosie just went like,
Yeah, that song was written after a terrible night of scrolling through the internet.
Ooh,
till like
there's the confirmation.
6 a.m. and I barely
There's the confirmation, y'all.
got any sleep. I rocked up to the studio the next day very cranky. And they asked me, how have you been? And I was like, very bad. I'm so exhausted. I'm exhausted trying to please everyone. I'm always just trying my best to be my best version, but I felt a little lost and felt like I was never good enough. And I was a bit cranky against the world and just the universe.
Bro, I'm so excited for you guys to listen to my version of Number One Girl. It's in the male perspective, obviously. It's from the perspective of being that person to reassure. You know, and I feel like, for example, this is really random, but like, Bruno is such a good person. I've seen and heard so much interviews with Bruno, and I know Bruno lifts her up. I know he does. And like, right now, man, I just wish I personally knew Rosé so I can just talk to her and tell her and reassure her that she's so amazing, you know, and she doesn't need to please anybody because she's amazing for real.
And I was like, you know, I want to write a song that's just so disgustingly open and honest. Like, you know, things that I hate myself for, like thinking. I said, like, all those thoughts that's written in those lyrics are thoughts that I don't want to admit that I actually think. Because I think I like to present myself as a very positive girl who's like, who doesn't think about negative things, who's very just bright-minded and whatnot. But I think that was honestly the day I was like, nope, I have these days.
What were you watching online? What were you seeing?
I was looking at that's like comments, you know, like just searching topics that were not.
Bro, forgive me, dog. I don't know who she is, bro. She obviously, like, Rosé already, like, gave you the context, bro. You gotta really ask her and make her elaborate on what she's, like, what she saw. Come on, man. That's so unnecessary.
Going to necessarily satisfy me, and I just, like, go down, like, rabbit holes of negative comments and just... and I don't think I knew... I didn't understand what I was searching for as well, but I was looking for validation, and I felt like, wow, it was a lonely world that night in that on the internet, on social media. It was a lonely world, and as I was writing the song, I felt there must be so many other girls who experienced this, and so I just want people to know that I'm no different.
What does vampirehollie mean? Because
Vampirehollie was another day of those.
Because it's your new handle on Instagram and one of the songs on the album. And I can't let you break me like this is one of the lines.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, Vampirehollie was my private Instagram account. It was just an account that I made so that I didn't have to be like, because my official account is like has a lot of followers, and I always have to think about what people are going to think of me. But I wanted an Instagram where I just felt didn't have to be cool.
It's your Finsta.
It's my Finsta, and it's what I just used. And then I remember, you know, a few fans found out about the Instagram, and then I think they started getting, they would, you know, so there are certain people who want to be.
She had a little stutter, bro. This is I know she's going through it, but she's not helping either. The damn interviewer's not helping either, bro. Am I the only one? Like, y'all told me, like, you know, this is emotional, and I definitely feel the level of emotion. But is anyone else just mad? Like, get mad at this interviewer? Goodness gracious. Sheesh.
Negative, and they were trying to find all the ways to get to me. And I guess they ended up getting to that account and then using that to, like, cause drama and actually trigger me. And it felt like obviously they were obsessed with the thought of, like, controlling me and, you know, that, but then I felt like I was obsessed back. But then I remember after I wrote that, I let it all go and I never went back to it again.
Oh, good, bro. Oh, man, dude. Timing is everything, bro. I think I meant to get into BLACKPINK, their members now of all times, because I know me. I'm very passionate with the people I love, you know what I'm saying? We take Kobe, for example. We take Kobe, for example, you know what I'm saying? Very passionate about Kobe. I defend that man to hell and back. I defend Michael Jackson to hell and back. If I was a BLACKPINK fan at the time, like since the beginning, since the get-go, and all this stuff was happening in front of my eyes at that time, I would be so pissed, bro. I'd be so pissed. You have no idea. I'd be defending the people I follow, you know what I'm saying? And we talk about this all the time in the comments, y'all. They don't deserve this hate, man. They don't. Oh my gosh. Like, how do people even hate on any of these 4 women? That's so impossible in my eyes, you know? That's crazy, dog.
There is a big anti-fan movement in K-pop where there's a lot of bullying online, especially of female artists. And it sounds like this was part of that. You were experiencing that.
I think so. I don't know. I don't want to get emotional about it.
Oh, man.
Okay. Oh, my gosh. I think, like, I didn't think that... Because I would say I'm pretty strong-minded as
She's going through it, dude. She's going through it, and I feel her. I want to be there for her, man. Ah!
As well. I'm pretty like, I'm not that, like, I'm very positive as well. And I like to be smart about, you know, how things affect me. But I think I remember when it felt like it actually did get to me, that like it felt pretty bad. I was like, oh my gosh, I am going through this. I never thought I would. I think I would see things online and I'd always think it's interesting. You're just like, I wonder why they let that get to them, you know? But I remember when it did, I was shocked. Yeah.
Oh. Ah! I'm fighting, y'all. Woo! Dude, I feel so, bro.
I'm sorry that happened to you. I know you've talked about your own mental health and how demanding it can feel to protect yourself from this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Well, in this case, now that I've found songwriting, we'll write it in a song. If life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. I think that was the only thing. It was kind of surprising because songwriting came to me as like a blessing the moment I really needed it. And I was like, wow. I'd walk in with a big problem. I'd store it in a song and it would leave my mind, it'd leave my heart. And so, as cheesy as it sounds, that's the songwriting has helped me. Like, it actually like leaves my soul as I leave it in a song. But then there are some days where I don't like the song and I'm like, that didn't help. That didn't help. That song's not going to be in the album. I'm still suffering now. So we better write. It's kind of, it was actually like that. I think I was so addicted to songwriting at one point because I'd have these concepts that I wanted to write about and then we'd paint it, but it wouldn't be the right image. And I'd be like, no, like, yeah, but that's not what I wanted to say. Okay, scratch that again. And then I'd
Do y'all hear music in the background? Or is that just me?
get the song and I'd be like, yes, and I'd actually heal from it and I would never actually think about it again because it literally just lives in that song.
Who's playing the music, bro? Is it like who's doing that?
And it actually heals me. Interesting.
Oh, it's the outro. Oh my gosh, dude, that threw me off. Let me run that back a little bit because the music really threw me off.
I'd have these concepts that I wanted to write about and then we'd paint it, but it wouldn't be the right image. And I'd be like, no, like, yeah, but that's not what I wanted to say. Okay, scratch that again. And then I'd get the song and I'd be like, yes, and I'd actually heal from it. And I would never actually think about it again because it literally just lives in that song and it actually heals me. Interesting.
Ugh. This one's tough, bro. This is tough. She's so deep, bro. And I've said this, man. The first sheesh. The first time I cried because of Rosé on my On the Ground Gone reaction video. Damn. Ooh. Sheesh. Woo. Let me fix that. Ooh. There's so many layers to her, man. Gosh, she's been going through it. She's been going through it, man. And she don't deserve that, man. I don't like the interviewer. I don't like her, bro. Not at all.
After the break, I call Rosé back, and she tells me about what's next for BLACKPINK as its 4 members pursue their solo careers.
I think we all have obviously love for BLACKPINK, but I think we were, I would say, mature enough to come to a conclusion that in order for us to continue this in a healthy way, we also have to acknowledge that we all have also individual needs and wants.
Is that it? Why does it have a whole 7 minutes?
Hi.
Thanks for talking to me again.
Okay, it's not done yet.
I
Okay.
want to start by asking you about the idea of the 7-year curse in K-pop, which refers to the trend of groups disbanding around their 7th year together. And that kind of coincides sometimes with record contracts expiring. But BLACKPINK just re-signed with YG Entertainment in 2023. So you have all gone off and had solo projects. Did you ever think about breaking up when you were going off to explore what the solo experience was going to be?
It was definitely a moment of all of us sitting down, thinking about what we wanted individually, all 4 of us, because, you know, it's a group of 4. We all have to make decision on behalf of like what we really truly wanted. And so it wasn't like a quick decision. I think it was over a course of like a few months. Like we kind of started thinking about it in advance. I think as we all we communicated a lot, and we decided I think we all have obviously love for BLACKPINK and performing as BLACKPINK, but I think we were, I would say, mature enough to come to a conclusion that in order for us to continue this in a healthy way and maintain that passion in the long run, we also have to acknowledge that we all have also individual needs and wants. And so we came to a healthy conclusion of making sure we all kind of got to do what we wanted to do for a good period of time and then get together. So that's what's happening. Next year would be BLACKPINK's. We would probably be releasing music, and we're set for.
So excited, guys. We're so excited. Who's gonna go to shows with me? We're going to shows together, y'all. Bro, the interviewer's really, really working. She's trying to cook something, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Tour.
I do want to ask you another thing about the trainee system. Because I heard you say that for you, your time as a trainee was basically pretty positive. You described it as a period where you really dedicated all your time to doing the thing that you loved. But, you know,
No, but bro, she's trying to trash dog. She's aiming for it. Bro, Rosé is doing such a good job answering these damn questions. I'll tell you what, bro, like, woo! She's trying, bro. I'm telling you, she's going. She's coming for the throat. She's coming for it because this was already talked about. They already discussed it. Rosé said everything was good. Everything was good out here. But she trying to get more out of it. What you gotta say?
I've read a lot about how the system has been criticized in the culture and also legally as being exploitative, financially, maybe even emotionally. There have been allegations of abuse. And so I guess I was wondering, do you think that the system overall is a good way to help nurture young art and artists?
I personally, because I started so late, I started at 16. This is just like a personal experience for me, but I had like a good system because we had like our producer Teddy and, you know, people looking out for us and taking care of us. So I personally felt like it really helped me quickly pick up on, like, because I had shorter time than all the other girls. They got me to train in such a short amount of time so I could be as good as the other girls, and that's how I got my career, and I get to do what I do today. And so like for me, it's been a pretty good experience.
But it might have been harder if you'd...
What but, bro? Dude, she's making me mad, dog. Rosé's doing so good with this. Like, if it was me at that point, I would be like, girl, what you trying to do? Like, you trying to make me slip up? Like, for real? Like, what you trying to, like, what are you trying to get out of me? Woo! Dog, yo.
You'd had to do it longer or started younger?
Hold on, what'd she say?
It might have been harder if you'd had to do it longer or started younger?
Lisa did at 14.
I wouldn't know because I haven't.
I guess I'm wondering, would you recommend that a teenage girl...
She just damn cut off Rosie while she was damn talking, bro. Am I the only one that doesn't like her? Sheesh.
No, because I haven't.
I guess I'm wondering, would you recommend that a teenage girl take the same path that you did?
I think if you have the dream and the determination, then go for it. It was like exactly what my dad said.
Wonderful answer to skate out of whatever she's trying to pull out. I'm saying, dog, she's going for something. And Rosé answered that so perfectly. Oh my goodness gracious. Jeez.
It was like, me? Like, Dad, I've never done like a vocal lesson in my life. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know, never danced in my life. And I'm like, I was 16. And so, but he was like, Rosie, if you love it, you try it. And if you don't want to regret it in 10 years, you better try it now. And that was probably the best advice. And I went there and I discovered my, my determination, and, that's what I had. And I had the drive. And I remember my parents would be like, Rosie, just like, because it was hard. It was not easy at all, and I'd call crying, and they'd be like, "Come home," and that would be the last thing I'd want to hear. I'd be like, "No, going home is not an option.
Bro, what is she gonna
I'm gonna
say
make
next,
this
dog?
happen."
What is-
And we did it. We came out as
Kudos to you,
BLACKPINK, and
Rosie.
I'm here today. So
Yes, you are here today.
The right thing.
For me, it was.
Do you think it changed who you were? Everything that you went through at YG and this whole crazy journey that you've just described?
Not really.
Dog! She's fishing. She's throwing the reels and she's trying to fish for something and she's catching nothing. She's catching nothing, bro. Oh, dude, she's making me so mad. Y'all have no idea, dog.
I think who I am,
Yeah.
like inside, I think.
And then she tries to like, yeah, you know, dog, come on now.
I think if I talk to my mom and my sister and my dad, I feel like this has always been me, like my personality. It was just, I guess when I went to Korea, that's when it opened up. And that's when I started to see, oh, this is me as a person. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't, but I don't know if that's something I can say. I guess it's something we have to ask the people around me. I don't know. I don't know.
She's answering these so well, bro.
Really, I think.
She's answering these like a G.
That's why I asked a lot of my friends about. I was like, what do you think? Was I too nervous? Do you think I was this? Do you think I was that? No, I like to ask around.
Who is this woman? I do not like
That's
her.
Rosé. Her album Rosie will be out on December 6th. Ryan
Is it
Lozano.
just credits, bro?
Photographer.
All right, that's it. It's over, bro. That was driving me insane. Ooh, that was making me so mad, bro. Yes, that was a good interview. I'm not gonna bet. It was a great interview. And Rosie being vulnerable, kudos to her because she's obviously struggled with that. And she did so good with this. I'm so proud of her. I really am. So... tears happened. Maybe I'm the one tripping. Like, I think tone is everything too. And the interviewer, like, a lot of her questions were asked in a tone where it was like, I'm trying to pull something from you. If it's asked in a certain tone, then you can easily take it like, okay, this question is asked all in good intent. But her tone with her buts and her I means, like, those kind of phrases are used in a way where people try to get you. You know what I'm saying? You know what? We're at the end of the video. So what I'm going to show you guys next is nothing to do with BLACKPINK, Rosé, or any of that. It's just examples of interviews that I know that come to my mind. Made me think of how this interviewer is being. Y'all watch basketball? This is Draymond Green. Look at this. Try to twist this, man. The reporter was coming after him on this one.
Here's an interesting question. So last year you visit us. Game 3, there's no flood. You win. Game 4, there was flood. You lose. No flood. You win.
Brother,
so
you asked me about the flood in practice the other day. You know, and I said I pray for the city of Houston because you don't want to see anyone go through that. I feel like you keep trying to get at like us hitting threes or something and you're trying to get a controversial statement out of me, but you're not, because I feel sorry for the people of Houston. People are losing their homes, losing their cars, losing their lives, losing.
That's what, you know what I'm saying? Like, people really reach for that. Let me show you one more thing. This is hilarious. Maybe it was very emotional, guys. Let's end it on a laugh, okay? You guys know RDC World? This was so funny. This wasn't like, you know, the very same equivalent, but you guys know what I mean after watching this. Look at this. This is hilarious. It's titled How Interviewers Try to Get You to Slip Up.
You know, with the both of you being at the top of your fields, I have to ask, you know, like, what's your take on the whole pronoun situation that's going on right now?
You said the whole pronoun situation?
Yes, sir.
I mean, movies got a lot of takes, you know what I'm saying? Songs got a lot of takes, and that's how you make them.
Right. I guess more specifically, I'm asking about, you know, the whole gender role thing.
I mean, gender roles gonna do what gender roles do.
Every
that's
time.
fact.
Of course.
Every time.
You know what? I'm more specifically talking about, like, how many genders do you think there should be? Like, realistically, ballpark estimation.
You said ballpark?
Yeah.
I mean, you play baseball at a ballpark.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Like...
You know what I'm saying?
How you gonna play inside? Might break a window.
You know, sports is an interesting topic, you know. Say I said I was a woman. Should I be able to play in the NBA just because I say I'm a woman all of a sudden?
I mean, really, it's like what Drake said. You know what I'm saying? All this capital is like I left the caps lock on.
Right.
Jodeci freestyle.
Right?
So you agree with what Drake has to say?
I mean, I don't listen to Drake no more.
Oh, okay. Well, what's your take on the police brutality?
Bro, I'm telling you, dog. Nah, I'm not gonna go as far to say that New York Times interview was like this, but I feel like she was trying to get some stuff out of Rosé.
Like, do you think America's going in the right direction?
Direction?
Yeah.
To the left, to the left.
To the left.
To the left, irreplaceable. Hit song by Beyonce.
Hit, man. We still listen to that. We listen to that on the way over here.
Oh, okay. So do you agree with what Beyonce has to say about this?
I mean, to be honest, Beyonce is one of the top 5 singers, but I don't watch her interviews.
Bro, I'm telling you, like, there are certain things you need to know when you get people be asking you these questions, man. You gotta think on your feet, really think. Yeah, that did its job. It was very emotional. This one got tears out of me. Almost everything Rosé related gets tears out of me, and there's nothing wrong with that. Oh man, on to other things. Tomorrow we got Bet You Wanna coming to you guys. Thursday we're doing the Jenny Osaka Memories reaction and the Lisa 102.7 Kiss FM, and then I'm also releasing my cover to #1 Girl Thursday. Hope you guys like that one. For those of you guys who are watching this before my live stream today on Tuesday, know that my kids are on fall break, so I'm not gonna do the full 4 hours. We only got like, I'm only gonna do maybe 2.5, 3 hours. So yeah, we're gonna have to cut both streams Tuesday and Thursday a little short. I'm sorry guys, but we'll get back to normal schedule the following week. That being said, if you want to stay in tune with my journey into Blackpink and their solo members, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this content, if you like this video reaction, smash that thumbs up. If you didn't like it, if you didn't like that I was being a little too harsh on the interviewer, if you thought that I was tripping by thinking that she was tripping, then go ahead and hit that dislike button as well. But whether you liked or didn't like this, click that notification bell. That way you can stay up to date with the next time we upload or do anything else on this channel. Aside from that, I just want to say I appreciate you all. Much love and peace.